So we are going to start out with the question, Noah's mom bought a whole pizza for Noah and his sister Chloe to share. Noah ate 4/8 of the pizza and Chloe ate 1/4. How much pizza was left over? Okay, the first thing that I want to identify here is the difference between parts of a whole and a whole. Okay, in this case, we are talking about one whole, which means one pizza. Okay, Noah and Chloe are sharing this one pizza. This one pizza is the whole. Okay, and the parts of the whole is how it's broken up and how it's broken up. And whole can be measured by, it can be measured by sets, it can be measured by distance or area. And in this case, our whole represents one pizza. Okay, so whole has to be broken up into equal size parts to be parts of a whole. So Noah ate 4/8 of this pizza. Here we have an area model for eighths, and we have one for fourths. Okay, so Noah ate 4/8 of the pizza. Now, as you can see here, 1/8 I have is a unit fraction. So it's a unit fraction because it shows 1 in the numerator, and it is 1 part. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4/8 of a pizza that Noah ate. Okay, and then we have 1/4 of a pizza that Chloe ate. 1/4 is actually a unit fraction as well because I'm taking one piece out of the fourth. Okay, 1/4. So I'm going to put this over here. Now, we need to add these together to find out the total amount that Noah and Chloe ate, but we can't do that quite yet because we have different denominators. So what we need to do is we need to find a common denominator between eighths and fourths. And the way to do that is to find the greatest common factor. Now, between 4 and 8, the greatest common factor is going to be 4, because you can multiply 4 times 2 to get 8. So first I'm going to show you here how many eighths it takes to make up 1/4. 1/8 like this, 1/8 like this. 2/8 make up 1/4. But the other way that we would find that is out on paper. We could say 1/4. Okay, we multiply the denominator by 2, which equals 8. And then we multiply the numerator by 2 because whatever you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator. 2 times 1 is 2, so that's 2/8. So 1/4 is equivalent to 2/8. Right? Equivalent. So I'm going to put that over here. The next thing that we need to do is we need to add how many we have all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6/8 all together. But that's not where we stop because we need to find out how much pizza was left over. So here's our total. Here's our whole. Okay. Here's our total pieces that are in a whole. We need to take away 6/8. So I'm going to take away 6 unit fractions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it looks like we are left with 2/8. 1/8 plus 1/8 is 2/8. So the total left over we have is 2/8. If you were going to see that written out, you would see 8/8 because that represents the whole. 8 pieces out of 8 pieces minus 6/8 equals 2/8. Because when we're subtracting, we subtract the numerator, but we don't subtract the denominator. The denominator remains the same. So we're left over with 2/8. Another way that we could have done that, though, is the inverse operation. Using the inverse operation, and instead of subtracting, we could have added. So here was our 6/8 combined that Chloe and Noah ate. All we would need to do is continue adding eighths until we reached 8/8. So we add 1/8, which would be 7/8, and 2/8, which will come out to be 8/8. So we can do the inverse operation and add to find that answer. Now another common misconception when subtracting fractions is that students, they'll look at the problem and they'll say, oh, okay, well, 4/8 minus 1/4 equals, okay, subtract my numerator. 4 minus 1 is 3. 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay, so my answer is 3/4. That's a common misconception because you cannot add or subtract fractions without finding the common denominator. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to solve this, except we're going to solve it using the linear method. So I'm going to bring these over here just to give you an example. So we have 1 here representing our whole, okay? And then I'm showing you fractions divided up. So these are into fourths, and these are into eighths. But I'm showing you that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths equals 1 whole, and 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths also equals 1 whole. Right, so I wanted to show you the comparison of when you're subtracting fractions is related to subtracting whole numbers. First, you have to find the common unit or unit fraction, and then subtract the number of units you have. So, for example, if I had 5 minus 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 2, right? I have 5 ones to start out, and then I'm taking 2 ones away, so then you have what you see here, 3 left over. When I am subtracting in this problem, I'm going to show you how we are going to find the common unit, and then we're going to find the difference. All right, so this is how we are going to go ahead and do that using the linear method. All right, so we know Noah ate 4/8 pieces of pizza. So I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Noah ate 4/8 pieces of pizza, and Chloe ate 1/4 piece of pizza. So here's Noah and Chloe's total amount of piece of pizza. But remember, we have to convert this 1/4 into eighths because we needed to find the common denominator, which is 1/8. Which is eighths. So I'm going to take my 1/4 and I'm going to show you, same way we did before, how many eighths it takes to make up 1/4. Boom. See what I did there? I put 2 1/8, 2 unit fractions of 1/8 over the 1/4. It shows you that equals 2/8. Okay? And even up here you can see that as well as in comparison to the whole. 2/8. So Chloe ate 2/8 pieces of pizza and Noah ate 4/8. So now we need to count those up. Right? I'm going to move this down here so we can get a better representation in comparison to the whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in total, they ate 6/8 pieces of pizza. Now to find the remaining, I can discontinue counting by eighths until I reach 8/8, which is the whole. So I can say 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. So I needed 2 more eighths to find my whole. Or I could just set it back up again to 8/8 and take away 6/8. 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and I'm remaining with 2/8 left over. Okay. Now the last thing that we can do here is we can simplify, and the way that we would do that, like to simplify a fraction, is we have 2/8. We need to find the smallest possible denominator. So in this case, to find the smallest common denominator, we look over, because we've done this already earlier, we look over and we realize that that's fourths, because 2/8 can be divided by 2. 2/8 can be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And I can show you here that 2/8 equals 1/4. So that's how we would simplify. But I've learned that it's not mathematically relevant to simplify. And that is all. Thank you.